Welcome to The Teacher and the Pro, where we dive into PGA professionals' journeys and the paths they've chosen within the golf industry. I'm Nathan Rarick, an elementary PE teacher and golf writer for Fair to Green, an equitable sports media company. Joining us this episode is Nick Iacono, the lead golf instructor at Merion Golf Club. Nick talks about why he loves teaching golf and his work with PGA HOPE. He then previews holes that will play a key part in the match play format at the USA Amateur Championship next week at Merion Golf Club. Before we get into your career as a PGA professional, I'd like to start off with how it started and go way back to how did you get into the game of golf? What was it that brought you that first joy in the game?
Yeah, so I really was on the opposite side of golf. I was actually going to pursue professional skateboarding for a very long time. That was kind of like my jam. Would skateboard in Newport, Philadelphia, all these different places around the Delaware area. And then really just started really accruing a lot of injuries. So my body was kind of breaking down on me a little bit. So rest my body up a little bit. And my dad really just came up to me and said, get a collared shirt on, get shorts on. You have a golf lesson. You have no choice. So he was a golfer, used to be a professional tennis player, and he needed, I guess, one of his three boys to be the guinea pig to play golf. So the youngest was the easiest to manipulate, I guess, in his eyes. So I got a collared shirt on, got shorts, and I had my first golf lesson with master teaching professional John Dunnigan, who currently works at Applebrook, who at that time was at Hartfeld. And I just saw that one little high baby draw, and that was really it. And now he's still my coach to this day, some 15 years later. So I didn't really pick up the game till late. I probably picked it up just before my 80th birthday. Walked on the college golf team, decided I really like to play golf, but I went to school to be a math teacher. So eventually realized I just wasn't that smart to teach math. So just blended golf and teaching together. And really, John was a huge influence in me becoming a golf coach at that point.
Now, when you went to school, did you do the self-learning program to become a PGA professional, I assume, or were you doing it at your college as well?
So no, so I went to school to be a math teacher.
Okay.
But I played and walked on the college team, but I didn't really decide I was going to be a PGA professional, really be in the golf business until about my senior year in college. So what I did right outside of college, I got a job at Odessa National Golf Club, which was where I was a golf professional, my first golf professional job. And then I did the apprenticeship program in which I got my Class A in about 16 months, kind of just rifled through it. Luckily, I had some north-south jobs that allowed me to go to Florida, because at that time you had to go to Florida for your level 1, 2, and 3. So I did the apprenticeship program aside from many who did the PGM program.
Very cool. And I know you mentioned you're going to school for math, and I'm an elementary PE teacher, so the teaching thing is a great connection to becoming a PGA professional. What was it sitting in those college classes or right after college? Why become a PGA professional? Why not something else in the golf industry?
Well, it's funny. I come from and my brain works kind of more like a math science type, headspace, to where I like solving for puzzles and I like seeing how things work. I'm kind of like a thinker. I like to see how everything works and how it maneuvers and kind of the geometry behind everything. So golf was just right up my wheelhouse. And I know at that point when I changed, I wanted to do something golf related, but really helping elite athletes. So golf performance and 3D biomechanics and all that stuff just really fit very nicely with me. And because I love the math science behind it and the physics behind the golf swing. And it was just a nice little perfect combo for the way that my brain worked. And I really never wanted to be a head golf professional at all whatsoever. As much as I love helping people with their tee times and getting ready for a tournament, nothing brings me more pleasure than understanding how a golf swing works, and then from there teaching the person and how to become a better golfer.
Very cool. And you're talking about biomechanics and the science of it. How hard is it you work at an elite club at Merion, and I'm sure you are dealing with some really good golfers, so maybe it's not that difficult, but right, if I were to go on a lesson, you get all science on me and talking about just getting biomechanical and all that, like how can you make it so your students understand what you're saying? Like, how hard is that sometimes? Because, right, like we don't all think alike. So like you're saying you're very like simple and I'm not. So how is that a challenge as you as a teacher with your students?
Now, just to be fair, and I'll use a pretty easy example to compare it to. If you go to the doctor's office and they show you an X-ray, right? They're not going to explain every single tendon or muscle or bone or whatever it is. They're going to tell you your arm is broken because of A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So kind of see it as I keep all that crazy stuff in my head, and then usually I translate it into an external cue. So, for example, let's just say I want you to move your chest a certain way. I'll tell you the way your chest moves, you change your swing circle as such. You change the flight of the golf ball. So how about we imagine that you have the Superman logo on your chest, and I want you to point the Superman logo there, not there. And then from there, we can understand that simple external cue can have an effect on the golf ball and how that golf ball moves in the air when you hit it. So I really keep it very external. The internal thoughts about how your hands can pronate or supinate or how your shoulder can externally rotate, or that stuff stays in my head because I think a lot of times coaches want to sound smart in a lesson and they really just don't need to. They're there just to help the person understand. And you would never go into a situation where you wanted to explain it in that finest of detail. You want to kind of layer it to which that student will understand in simple terms what they need to do.
I mean, as a teacher myself of elementary school kids, and I definitely agree with that. Every student is different, so giving them different cues, and I'm all about what cues can I give, and it's like, right, I'm teaching throwing and catching. I can say step, and they get it, but if I say squash a bug, they all do it. For some reason, those 2 words, 3 words, just resonates better with them. So I understand, and I think what really separates a really good teacher to just a fine average teacher is what you're saying is being able to get those cues across to your student. And I mean, I see you've been a PGA professional teacher of the year. So what you're doing is working clearly. And you're saying you're doing a lot of teaching. So what does your day to day look like? Is it just lessons from the time you get to the golf course to the time you leave? Are you doing other things as well? Or you just love teaching the lessons that much?
You just strictly work. What do I do on a day to day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically, if I can in the morning before I start teaching, I got to get a couple emails done. It's tough. It's tough answering emails when you're on the lesson tee all day. You're not really at your
Yeah.
computer. Stuff to just kind of escape for 20, 30 minutes, but get there a little early. And I'm pretty much teaching from 9 to 6. The good thing is that I'm not really responsible for too many other things. There's fittings and demo equipment that I kind of keep an eye on and make sure that everything is there and accounted for. But my only main job is to just teach. I call it being on the boulder. I'm on the boulder all day, just teaching from 9 to 6, which I love though. I'm a worker. I've had a job since I was very young. And just being on the lesson tee, talking to people, being personable is kind of like where I just thrive. So I think I had a desk golf pro job for maybe a year, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I got to be outside. I got to talk to people. Italians like to talk, so you can't keep an Italian in the back room at a computer. So teaching just is just what we do. Joanne and I call my work wife. She's our director of instruction at Merion. We just teach all day and we play with members when we can, which can be very difficult because we're busy throughout the year. But yeah, it's just teaching. That's it.
No, that's really cool. And again, Marion's in the Philadelphia area. So how does teaching look like? What does it look like in the winter? Are you guys just doing a lot of stuff in the simulators? Do you have one of those driving ranges that has kind of the garage where you can hit out? Like, how is it more difficult teaching in the winter than the summer just because you don't have the golf course or the driving range to kind of practice at?
I actually really like working at a spot where there's an actual off season. And yes, we do have a learning center. It's a 3 bay hitting from indoor to outdoor to where you hit into the range, but you can close it down and turn it into a simulator. We use
Okay.
TrackMan, which is great. I think part of it is that teaching indoors, knowing the technology that you have and how it measures information, how it measures the golf ball and how you use that information to your advantage. But I like the off season for a lot of reasons. Number one, it gives a student to relax and work on something without the pressure of having another tournament. But then also we can just hit into the screen without anything turned on to really build those feels and understand what motor patterns we have to change in order for that student to perform better once they get outside.
Very cool. And I know it. I'm in the New York area, and we have a couple clubs that have some of those hitting bays, and we have the inside driving range, but our dome is 100 maybe 30 yards long. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm getting it, but it's just like you said, it's making sure my grip is correct or my ball position. It's all the little things that help that people don't work on really in the summertime because there's so I do enjoy it. I wish sometimes I lived somewhere warmer so I could play more, but
Yeah,
it's
fair.
still fun. And you're a PGA Hope. You're involved in the PGA Hope. You're a national trainer. Can you explain what the PGA Hope is and kind of what it does, just for the listeners?
Yeah, so it's a 501c3 program in which we're tax exempt. So all the proceeds for PJ Hope, which is the acronym Helping Our Patriots Everywhere, it's a flagship program in which it's tax exempt. So again, all the proceeds go to back into the program. And what we really do is we give veterans an alternative form of therapy versus medicine or anything like that, medication, in which vitamin D and fresh air is a great way for veterans to just be active, be healthy. And what I do is I train professionals to be certified in teaching veterans with different abilities because we are VA, the Veteran Affairs, are able to recommend golf as an alternative form of therapy, but they have to be certified because the MOU, essentially, I call it the Willy Wonka golden ticket, gives permission for that professional to be able to teach veterans. And it's great. I mean, a lot of programs in the Philadelphia area, we have 6 to 8 week programs from maybe you've played golf before, maybe you've never played golf before, but really we get you introduced to the game for those beginners and for those that have golfed before, really just reintroduce the game and how great it was and why you loved being outside and why being with your friends, all that camaraderie, all that good stuff to really help them have a better mental mind frame about what happened in the past. We can't completely get rid of, say, the flashbacks or the PC or anything, but what we can do is maybe we can have a moment each day to where they don't really remember that stuff and they can focus on having fun playing golf with their friends.
That's really cool. And I know, again, my grandpa being a veteran and all that, it's cool to work with those people. And it's probably just a different type of rewarding feeling, I would imagine, than your normal lesson you're giving. So are they just more appreciative of it? Like how are the veterans in the program? Do they just love being outside and playing golf? Or do they still get frustrated at the game myself when I'm at the range?
I mean, we're only human. Everybody's going to get frustrated. It's like
Yeah.
you can imagine that little white golf ball can get someone so mad, but it's
Yeah.
more about them just being outside and having fun and that sunlight and fresh air. But I think it's the best program I've ever been a part of. And they are very appreciative of everything. I mean, they're taking a lesson from the expert of the game, the PGA professional. So they're very appreciative. They're going to arrive crazy early. They're going to want to help. They're going to do all these things, but they really love even just hitting the golf ball no matter where it goes. I mean, just the feeling of hitting the center face for everybody is the best thing ever. And I've done a lot of programs over the years and been involved in a lot of things. I would have to say the PJ Hope program is the best program I've ever been a part of by far.
That's really cool, and especially I'm sure you're part of a lot of cool programs. That the Philadelphia PGA section seems to be one of the best one. I've interviewed a lot of different people in the Philadelphia area. Obviously, you guys had the PGA Championship this past year. You had Philly Cricket Club have the PGA Tour event last year. You guys have the U.S. Amateur. What is it about that Philadelphia section of the PGA Professionals? Like, why is it so? It seems like it's very tight knit, and you guys are all each golf course and club are trying to just help each other. So, what is it about that area and the golf in that area that the PGA pros just seem to get along so well?
Well, number one, I think the section staff is amazing. And shout out also to the Mets section staff. I used to be in the Mets section for about 6, 7 years, and everybody over there was just amazing too. So that made it very easy to participate in seminars, playing events, all that kind of stuff. Philadelphia is not, I mean, it's big, but it's not that big. I think some sections, because you have such a large area that you're accounted for, that it could get a little lost. Even the South Florida section, that's huge. I used to be in there, and it spans Florida, but Florida's massive.
Yeah.
Where in Philadelphia, all the golf courses are just not only just amazing, they're fairly close. I think the farthest I had to drive for an event was about, I mean, give or take 2 hours, nothing crazy for the Philadelphia section. But also the professionals in the section are great. The golf pro world is very small. So, and we see the same people playing every event, and we just get to talk to each other, get to know each other, also get to meet new people because pretty much every time you play an event is like a job interview. So it really kind of brings everything home on how to become a better PJ professional, building those networks, but also having fun and playing golf on just some amazing golf courses. And I think this year, particularly, really put Philly more on the map with the type of golfer we have to offer. I mean, within 5 miles of where I am in Newtown Square, 10 miles, you have, top 20 courses in the country where it's like some places you don't really see that. Just the collective of golf around here is just amazing.
The golf course, I mean, Aronimink played really well and showed really well. Philly Cricket Club was really cool last year, and I'm excited for Merion watching all that at the USAM here in a couple weeks. And you mentioned how tight knit the PJ Professional group is in Philadelphia. Would you say that's like a high of the job, like a positive job? Like, what are some highs and lows of being a PJ Professional?
So I would say if you're not sure if you were getting into the golf business, the lows would definitely be the amount of hours you probably have to work to establish yourself. I know when I first was in the golf business, I would work 70 hours a week to make sure that number one, I made money because who doesn't like making money? But also you're working holidays. Holidays are very busy. You're working weekends. So I think that's one of the lows when it comes to being a golf professional. Now, if you like to work like me, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, what else am I going to do? I might as well just work and make money. So it's right up my alley. And being a teaching professional, once you've established yourself more and more, then you can kind of have the freedom to make your own schedule. Hence the reason why I didn't want to be a director of golf or head pro, because I feel like you're kind of clamped down based on the events that you have at the club. And if you have a lot of events at your club, you got to be there a lot. But I think changing turning the page on the availability of a golf professional, I think that's going to happen more and more, trying to establish more of a 5-day work week. Having a very good life outside of golf is very important. The highs, I mean, I love teaching golf and the performance side of it. I think when I can get any level of student to understand their golf swing, it's like my favorite thing in the world. But also the places that it takes you if you're successful in the business. I've been some pretty cool places. I've taught at majors. I've taught at UA championships. So the places it takes you and the people are meet. I mean, I just had a conversation at the PGA with Chris Cuomo about where's the best cheesesteak to get in Conshohocken, like that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool to have
Yeah.
these conversations and just those points of connection with people that they'll look back on and be like, oh yeah, I remember you. We talked about Moment Arms last month, and oh yeah, we talked about cheesesteaks the week before that. So it's pretty cool where it takes it.
I mean, we got to talk about it quickly. LeBron James is coming to Philadelphia, and I saw the Philadelphia PGA section Instagram, putting out a letter. Like, again, like what? I mean, if you guys could get LeBron to be a member or just play, like, how cool would that be? I mean, LeBron James just getting the golf and getting the golf bug that everyone's getting. What is your pitch to LeBron James to come to Marion?
Well, I would say becoming a Merion member is a whole different thing. Having a lesson at Merion is a little bit easier task. So I would just tell
Okay.
them, if you want to improve your game and you want to learn more about your body and how that relates to your swing and how your sport can either hurt you or help you in your game, I'm the one that can help you understand it a little bit more. And I saw his son swing, and Bronny Jr. swing is pretty good. So if he wants to beat his son, he's going to need someone that's going to help him out. So I'm just saying, if you need help, give me a shout. I'm not too far away from you. But I will say, as a Philadelphia fan, and I'm not the oldest person in the world, but I am very aware of Philadelphia's past. I'm excited, but I'm not getting caught in any trap ever again, because the Phillies that did it to me. Love the Phillies. I watch probably, if there is 162 games on TV, I'm probably watching 160 of them. My wife and I really, all I do is watch
Okay.
sports. If you could have already took that guess. So we love baseball. I think it's one of the best sports to watch. But the Sixers, same thing. It's going to be really exciting. It's a whole new squad. It's going to take time to understand each other.
Yeah.
But I'm still not going to get caught by the trap until they at least get past the second round of the Eastern Conference. I just can't do it. So
No, I get it, and
my
that's
heart
fair.
can't take it anymore. I think I've already grown. I think I have more gray hairs because of Philadelphia sports than any other thing in my life. So
Oh yeah, I'm in Buffalo, so as a Bills fan, I
okay. God bless you.
Understand the heartache of we have the best quarterback in the league and we can't get past anyone to get even into the Super Bowl, let alone win a Super Bowl. So I understand the feeling 100%. And we've talked about it a little. The U.S. Amateur is one of the biggest USGA championships they have. I mean, maybe right behind the women's and the men's U.S. Open. And it brings together the best amateurs in the world. I mean, you saw what Jackson Koiven did just a couple last week, this past Sunday, winning as a 21-year-old. Him being in the USAM just a couple years ago is wild. Merion's hosted, I think this is the seventh one, if I'm correct. How has a golf club like Merion just been able to withstand the time? And right, the big thing is the golf rollback and everything. So how is such an old iconic golf course withstand U.S. Amateur, U.S. Open back in 905 to come now in 2026? What has Merion done to kind of preserve that golf course that makes it playable still to this day?
Yeah, I think number one, the course design, Hugh Wilson and Flynn, they really did an awesome job. And I think playing Marion enough, part of what people don't realize, and this is just my view of it, is that number one, driver is not going to be the thing that's going to take you above and beyond everywhere else. Because where if you want to drive this golf ball as far as you do, the places you're going to drive it, if you miss it, you have no chance into the green. And the greens are a huge defense there. They're slopey, they're firm, they're fast. It's all about where you miss it. And once you put yourself in a bad spot off the tee, you're not going to miss it as well as you like. Because the great thing about Merion, I think, where I notice is that the best angle is actually probably closest to the trouble off the tee. So hole number 2, right center is probably the best play, but you have Ardmore Ave right there, just staring at you, ready to hit your ball out of bounds. So like on hole number 7, it's an iron off the tee. Being left center is great, but you could hit the ball in the bunker, or you don't want to hit it left and you push it right, and all of a sudden you're making a double bogey on a hole where you hit a 5-iron off the tee. Because a lot of the guys are going to be hitting 5 and 4 irons off parts of the holes, and they're going to make some high scores because they think they can go at a flag or be aggressive. It's not that type of place. You got to be very patient. So I think the strategy behind that course is be in the fairway. And because it's just obviously it's not long. It barely stretches out to 7,000 yards, but it's so difficult because if you're in the rough, you're not going to have good shots in the green. You're not going to miss it where you want. And Marion's the type of golf course where you can go par, birdie, par, double, triple in a hot second. It's not going to bogey you to death. It's going to give you a double or a triple if you decide to cut a corner that doesn't need to be cut. You try to go at a flag and you miss it by a yard, then you're short-sided and you can chip off the green and then chip. It can make you play ping pong golf in a hot second. So my advice would be fairways are a premium, and the fairways aren't that wide, so that's going to be their saving grace. I'm sorry, that narrow, so that's going to be their saving grace, hitting in the fairway, and then that's going to give you some really manageable shots into these greens that can be very tricky. So you got to have every shot in your bag, and I think that's the great thing about Merion. You're probably going to play and use every club in your bag throughout the 18 holes there.
All right, that's exciting. For those who don't know, the USAM is 2 rounds of stroke play and then goes into match play. And match play is a different animal. And what would you say are some key holes for the viewers to watch in that match play format? If it was a stroke play format, maybe certain holes will be it. But are there specific holes you think that are really going to be the difference in match play?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I was thinking about this the other day. Holes 1, 2, 3. I mean, hole 4. So there's only 2 par 5s. For those who don't know, there's 2 par 5s in Merion, and they're done after hole 4. Hole 2 and hole 3, only 2 par 5s on the golf course. Then you're done the rest of the time. Wow. So hole 4, going for the green in 2. It's a fairly big green, it's really always depending on where the flag is. And I think that's on the tee. I look at where the flag is on almost every hole for the most part that I need to. Because I'll give you an example, like, the first hole, I think people are going to decide is going to be hole 4, going for the green in 2, which you can, but you have a very big side hill lie, a little uphill. So you got to decide if your lie is good enough to get to the green. And then hole number 7, some people are going to try to go for the green. Not happening. It's just, you have about a 5-yard wide zone to hit the ball. And that's if you get a good bounce to have your miss work out well. It's just not worth it. So hole 7, hole 8, is very interesting. So it's a very short par 4. I'm probably like a 168 ball speed type of guy. I'm not short, I'm not long, but I usually go 4-iron, or 5 wood, and then wedge. There's going to be some people trying to go for the green, but if it's a front flag and you go for the green, the front of the green slopes this much, and you're going to have to hit a 30-yard, 50-yard type flop shot to even get maybe 10 feet to the flag. So it's not going to work. So if you go for a green where the flag is in a bad spot, you're going to have a really long day. And hole 10 is also a great example. It's a very short hole. We'll call it a slight dogleg left. Now, if the pin is back left, people are going to be tempted to go for the green and try to get to that flag. But what they don't know, if they don't look on hole 2, because hole 2 and 10 are right there, is that you see one tree to carry, but then there's 4 or 5 behind it that you're going to hit. And if you're lucky to be in the bunker, you might get up and down. So good players will make par. If you get a bad bounce and you have a tree in your way, then you're going to have to chip into the bunker to hopefully get up and down, and you're going to make a quick double or bogey in a hot second. So that's definitely one that the smart thing to do is there's a big fan out there, hit it at the fan, have a 30-yard pitch shot in. You might not make your birdie, but you're going to make par. And then I think another hole that people are going to really try to cut the corner on is 14. 14 is a slightly doglegs to the left, but then it straightens up a little bit. People are going to try to hit a draw around the corner, and you can, don't get me wrong, and you might have a wedge in, but what I do is I hit 3 wood, I hit that 280, have a 9-iron in, and I'm done. If you try to cut that corner, quote unquote corner, and you miss it 10 yards left, you're out of bounds. If you hit it dead straight, you're in fescue. So you're on another green. You might lose your golf ball. So I think the holes that are really going to be fun and match play are definitely going to be 4, 7, 8, 10, 14. And then the other holes are very just self-explanatory. There's not much around it. It's just you got to hit good shots and you'll be rewarded for it.
Okay, now I'm definitely going to look and watch at those certain holes when they show them. And before I let you go, we have to kind of do our fun rapid fire segment. It's called Fairway Rapid Fire Questions. It's just some quick questions about your golf game specifically. So just right off the top of your head. All right, the first one, you said you've gone to some pretty cool places, so I'm curious to hear this answer. Your dream course to play.
Oh, God. Dream course to play would probably be Augusta.
Yeah.
I had a chance, but it got canceled.
Oh, no.
Augusta, it was like that. It's like right there.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. Favorite on-course snack?
It's either beef jerky or just a peanut butter and jelly. No bacon. Right. I'm not a big peanut butter jelly.
And I can't believe that's a thing. I still, when people tell me that, it's shocking. Are you an early morning tea time or a sunset tea time?
I am morning. My sweet spot is about 9:30.
Nice. Yeah. Favorite golf club in the bag?
Probably putter or 5-wood.
See, the 5-wood and the 7-wood. Someone else told me a 7-wood. So I haven't got into the 5-wood or 7-wood craze yet. I'm thinking I may need to after some of my last long iron shots, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Who would be in your dream foursome to play golf with?
Oh, God. I'll give you 2 quick ones. Just me, my dad, and my brother would be great. My oldest brother doesn't play golf, but if he did, it would just be the boys playing golf.
Yeah.
But I would say if it's a dream one, dead or alive, it'd probably be myself, Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Man, that's a tough one. I actually never thought about that. Frank Sinatra, myself, let's say, honestly, the Rat Pack would be sick. Me and the Rat Pack, that'd be great. I would love that.
I was saying that the Frank Sinatra one is great. I've had someone say Harry Styles. I've had Niall Horan. I've had a whole bunch of people. But Frank Sinatra may be the best one that I've heard yet so far. And the last one I have for you, your favorite golf movie.
I think A Stroke of Genius is one of my favorite. I really love everything about it. Bobby Jones. Maybe I'm being a little biased because I worked at Merion now, but I think I loved it before Merion. But Stroke of Genius is, if it's on, I'm probably watching it.
I've never heard of it, so I've got to go put that on my watch list.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Okay, perfect. I'll definitely look into that. Nick, thanks for taking your time out of your day to do this. And I think just hearing some of the things that you do as a teacher is really cool, and what you do with the PGA HOPE is really amazing. And hopefully we get LeBron James coming to you to learn some golf, and you'll give him a better swing. And your preview of the USAM was great. I think the listeners are going to get some really cool things out of it when watching it next week. So again, thanks for hopping on it and doing this with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.